How to read grid and area reference. Grid and area references are usually found on topographic maps, such as the one that you can see here, and are used to locate either a general area or something more specific, for example, such as the buildings in this little location here. In order to read grid and area reference, you must understand a few technical terms. The first technical term is used to describe the numbers that are found on a grid or an area reference map. The first term is eastings. Eastings are referred to as such because, as you can see, the numbers go in an easterly direction. If the numbers that go in an easterly direction are referred to as eastings, it goes to show that the numbers that go in the northerly direction are called northings. As with remembering latitude and longitude, you can apply the rule of alphabetical order in order to remember which number you read first. E comes before N. However, I will provide you with another way of remembering which one you read first later. Area reference is a non-specific search of an area. At school, I provide my students with the example that if I were looking for a student, area reference would tell me the building the student is in, but not the room. If, for example, I needed to rescue someone, it may tell me which mountain or valley they are in or on, but not where exactly they are. Area reference, or AR, is also only a 4-digit number. It is very important that you remember that. Because area reference has to be a 4-digit number, if you ever see the numbers 0 through to 9 located on your grid, make sure that you write them as 01, 02, 03, etc. That way you can always ensure that you have a 4-digit number in front of you. So let's read area reference. The first thing you're going to need to do is to draw a capital L. This might sound a little bit crazy, but many students muck up just that first initial thing. This is not a capital L, nor is this, and nor is this. We're looking for a capital L. So we will begin with A. The first thing we do along the lines that surround the A is we draw a capital L. What this does is it tells us that the area that we're looking for is confined within the box that the L is locating. Now, I said before I would tell you a different way of remembering which number we look at first. We look at eastings first, but the way we do it is from the corner of the capital L, we draw a massive number 1. So that is our way of remembering that we do eastings first. When we look at the massive number 1, you can see that we have hit the number 22. We then go across from the elbow of the L again, and we found 48. I would like you to pay special attention to the way that I wrote 2248. I did not put a space between the numbers, and I did not put a comma either. When we write grid and area reference, there are no commas and there are no spaces between the two coordinates. The next example we will do together is the letter B. A lot of people struggle when they see that the dot that they are looking for is on one of the lines. When we draw our L, we draw our L through the line. So for example, if that dot had been on this line here, our L still would have gone through that line. So from the corner of the L, draw a really big number 1, and you will see that is the number 25. Then go across, and it's 46. Again, no spaces and no commas. We'll do C together. Draw our L, and we go down big number 1, that's 24, and then we go across, and that's 44. Now, as you get better at doing this, you will no longer need to draw the letter L. And for some of you, you don't need to draw lines on your paper. For some of you, you are actually quite good at just following down a line with your finger. That is fine, but if you're one of these people that starts following down a line and ends up over here, you will not get in trouble if you physically draw lines on your paper. Do whatever helps you learn. In your books, please write the heading area reference, then the letters A through to H. Pause this clip now and work out the area reference for those letters. Okay, let's go through the answers. A is 1540. Draw your L, number 1, 15, go across 40. B, draw your L, go down number 1, 21, go across 34. C is 1235, draw your L, 12, 35. D, 1737, draw your L, 17, 37. E is 2041, draw your L, 20, 41. F is 1342, draw your L, 13, 42. G, 1939, draw your L, number 1, 19, number 2, 39. And finally H, draw your L, is 16, 35. How did you go? Many students find that if they are asked to find the coordinates of an area, that it's quite easy. They locate the thing they're looking for and then write down the numbers that are surrounding it. However, as soon as they're given the coordinates, they find it really difficult to find the exact box that has the location of the thing they need to find. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make life easier when you're provided with the coordinates for your area reference. The first thing I always suggest to my students is to remember that area reference is 4 numbers. So straight away, if you divide those 4 numbers in half, you've got 2 coordinates. So I always suggest to my students that they circle or they highlight or they underline the 2 numbers so that their life is a little bit easier. The next thing we need to do is remember to find the L. So if we go to 24 and we draw our big number 1 and then we go across to 46 and we go draw a line like that, instantly we're going to notice that our big L is right here. What that means is the area or the box that we are researching is that one there. So what we'll find is a musical note. If we go 2648, we've separated our 2 coordinates. So we go 26 and we draw our big number 1. We find 48 and we go across. There is our L, which means we are looking for a red love heart. Finally, if we go 2245, we draw our big number 1, go across to 45. There is our L, which means we're looking for the blue swirly line. And that's how we reverse our area reference. Now let's put that into practice. What I would like you to do is to find the symbol that are located on the following coordinates. Remember, make your life easy and separate the 2 coordinates from each other. Circle them, highlight them, underline them, do whatever it is that makes your life easy. Also remember that you can draw your big number 1 in order to help you. Pause this and then find the symbol that are located at those coordinates. How do you think you went? Let's check our answers. The first one is 1319. So remembering to separate the two numbers, we go and draw a big number 1 at 13, and then we go across to 19, and you can see that's where our L is established. So we know it's the little red flag. 1024, we go 10, big number 1, 24, and we have a lightning bolt. 2020, big number 1, cross, and we have a stop sign. 1614, 16, big number 1, 14, across, and we have a set square or a triangle. 1118, go big number 1, 18, and we have a black tick. 1521, go big number 1, 15, 21, and we have a smiley face. 1915, big number 1, 15, we have a set square, and 1716, big number 1, and across we have a red cross. Now, as you can see, this starts to look a little bit messy. So what I would recommend is, if you do require to draw lines on your grid, you do it in lead pencil and then erase them as you go, or do them in different colours. Now you have the basics of finding area reference. Grid reference is going to be really easy. The first thing that you need to remember about grid reference is that it is a 6-digit number. There are a few ways that you can remember that it is a 6-digit number. The first is, if you're really lazy at drawing a G, you can kind of make it look like a 6. That's one way that many of my students remember it. G kind of looks like a 6. The second way, and this is where my students tend to think I'm lame because I don't play them the song, I sing it in class, but you can think about the great song by Far East Movement called Like a G6. As with area reference, grid reference is 2 coordinates. So where area reference was 4 digits, grid reference being 6, there's obviously 3 numbers per coordinate. So the first coordinate is this one, and the second coordinate is this one. So 3, 4, 8 is the first one, and 7, 2, 4 is the second one. I suggest as well as with area reference that make your life easier and separate the two from each other. The next thing is, they are kind of decimal points without putting in the decimal point. Just take that into consideration as we go to the next activity. So we'll work on 3 examples of grid reference together. The first one we will look at is A. So the first thing we do is, from the point inside the box, we draw our big number 1 again. Now, I recommend highly that if you are not a straight drawer, get yourself a ruler to do this. So we've drawn our big number 1, and you can see that it is between 56 and 57. But it's not quite in the centre. So we might say that it is 56.6. But remember I said prior, do not put the decimal point in. The next thing we do is we go across, and we'll find that it is between 47 and 48. Again, it's about 47.2. But because we don't put decimal points in, make sure that you don't do that. When doing this activity at school, it might help you to get your ruler and measure the size of your box. If the box on your grid is 1 centimetre across, you can use the millimetres to count exactly how many positions across your decimal point is. However, if there is no obvious scale to the size of each square, most teachers will give you a correct answer either side of the answer that you have provided, the correct answer. So for example with A, if you'd written 56.5 or 56.7, most teachers may give you that as correct also. We'll do C together. So we drew a big number 1 and we find that it is 56. Now, what you'll notice is that it is not between 56 and 57, it is on the line of 56. But we have to get a 6-digit number. So it is 56, 0. We then go across and again it is in that corner. So it is 45, 0. Remember, you always have to include the 0 and make it a 6-digit number. We'll go to B. We draw our line down. And it is 53, 5. And we go across. And it is 48, 6. In your book, write the heading grid reference, put the letters A through to H, and then find the grid reference for each of the letters. So let's find the answers together. The first one that we're looking for is A. So we draw a nice big number 1 all the way down. And we can see that it's 23.7. Remember, we don't place the decimal point in there, so it's just 23.7. We go across then, and it's 52.7. Again, don't put the decimal point in. B, we draw a big number 1. And it's 31.5 or 31.5. And then we go across. And it's 53.5. C, we draw a big number 1. And it's 24.9. We go across. 45.1. D, go straight down. 28.6. Go across. 49.8. E, big number 1, is 30. Remember, because it is not across, you have to include that 0. So 30, 0. And then the same with across, 45, 0. F, big number 1, 22, 2, across 48, 2. G, big number 1 is 26, 1, and across is 51, 8. H is 25, 8, and 47, 2 if we go across. How did you go? As with area reference, you may not be the type of person that needs to draw the lines on your grid in order to find things. If you don't need to draw them, don't draw them. But if you do, don't feel embarrassed or strange that you're drawing all over your map. You need to do whatever you need to do in order to learn. As with area reference, a lot of students struggle when they're actually given the coordinates to start with and have to find a location on a map. So what I've done is I've given you 3 different coordinates, but they don't go in the order of A, B, C as usual. You have to discover which letter goes with each coordinate. So the first thing we do, remember, is we separate the 2 coordinates. So 536, 53.6 is around about here. So already we know it's either A or C. Then 455. So 45.5 is about halfway. So we know that this one is C. The second one, 565. So 56.5. Remember, we don't put the decimal point in. Without even having to do the second coordinate, we already know that the answer is B. But I'm going to do it anyway. So 46.9, it's almost at 47 but not quite. So we know it's B. The final one is 535. So 535 again, and we're back at A. And then 48.1, so it's just above the line, and that makes that A. Okay, it's time to do it yourself. Pause this and find the symbol that is at the following coordinates. Remember, separate your coordinates, put a decimal point in, make your life easier for yourself. Just remember, some of these symbols may share coordinates. Not all of them are going to be located within only one coordinate. Hopefully that didn't get too confusing. We'll start with the first one, 55.6, 46.5. 55.6 is about here, and 46.5 is about here. So we're looking for the blue diamond. 53.2 is here. And 48.9 is here. So I've gotten rid of it at the moment, but we are looking for the red question mark. 57.7 is here. And 46.0 is here. So we're looking for the musical note. 55.2 is here. And 46.0 is here. Again. So we're looking for the guy sticking out his tongue while he is winking at you. 56.5 is here in the center. And 44.1 is here. So we're looking for the swirly line. As it's starting to get a little bit messy, as I've suggested before, change the colour of your pen. So I'll do that from here. So 54.1 is right here, almost on the line but not quite. And 45.1 is again almost on the line but not quite. So it's the little lightning bolt. 56.2 is here. Remember, we're drawing big number ones. And 47.7 is up here. So we've got a little ray of sunshine. And finally, 53.8 is about here. And 45.2 is there. And we've got the big X. You did it! Hopefully now you understand how to read grid and area reference, and I've made it a little bit clearer for you.